Well, folks, last bit of time here. Seems like I can't go on YouTube without seeing a million videos made about me, and it's been like that for a bit. And people are saying I'm finished. My stocks are done. They're never coming back. Never coming back. I can never recover from this. Those sorts of things. And I'm clueless. I'm an idiot. Those sorts of things. And so I thought, okay, let's address the elephant in the room. Let's talk about this. I want to go through all my stocks I've been buying recently, and we're going to talk about these companies. Will they ever recover? Well, I'm going to give my opinion on this. Have I lost faith in them? Those sorts of things. Because let's be very clear. For the past year, every single stock I bought, down. There's not one stock that is up in the past year. Everything I bought is lower today than it was, as least as of recording this. If you're watching this maybe months in the future, it might be different. We'll see. But as of today, every single stock I bought in the past year is down. Every single one. Okay? And so it's been open season on me for a bit here on YouTube, where every time I log on, there's just videos made about me and how I'm done and I'm clueless and all those sorts of things. And, let me address two elephants real quick. Okay? One is, how do I feel about this? Hurts my feelings. I cry myself to sleep every night, and it's just devastating. No, I'm just kidding. Okay. In terms of like how I feel about this, like it comes with the territory. You know what I mean? Like I'm down 3 mil plus, if not 4 mil in the past 7 months. You're down a lot of M's. Like you're going to get it. You're going to get it. Right. And so I'm down a lot of money, and I've just been absolutely obliterated in this market. So it's kind of like, don't hate the play, hate the game, as they say, right? And so, obviously when my stocks are doing good, when the market's doing good, I get a lot of love. But it flips around when things go really bad. Like you're gonna get it. Like that's just the way it is. And it's been open season on Jeremy. It has been open season on Jeremy for a bit here. Let's just be honest, right? It has been open season on me, and I don't know if you guys ever seen, definitely I would say one of the top 10 movies ever made in the history of mankind is a movie called The Gladiator. I don't know if you guys ever seen that movie before, and you haven't lived life till you watch that movie, okay? But Gladiator, so Russell Crowe, it's just an incredible movie. I don't want to spoil it all for you, but, at the end, by the way, Russell Crowe's the hero of the movie, and this guy's the villain. They have him all chained up, and they dehydrate him for a few days, and then this guy puts a knife in his back, and they have him conceal the wound because they're going to fight in the Coliseum, right? And Russell Crowe almost has no chance. And so, I feel like Russell Crowe in this market right now, I got no chance. Like, if the NASDAQ as of today was down 30%, the Russell as of today was down over 30%. I got no chance. I need like at least a break-even market to have a chance. Okay, if the NASDAQ and Russell are down 30%, there's no way I'm holding up in that sort of market. I'm going to get nailed. There's no, I'm not somebody that short stocks. I'm not somebody that tries to play the game of let's get in the market, let's get out of the market. That's not my thing. And that's kind of what I preach against, right? And so I'm a holder and I'm a buyer. And when you're a holder and buyer in a market where the NASDAQ goes down 30%, the Russell goes down 30+%, there's no pulling out of that. like that's just, you're going to get devastated. And that's kind of exactly what's played out here. And so, yeah, let's jump into these stocks. Let me share my perspective on them. We're going to go through the whole list here, okay? First one up here, Oatley. So Oatley, Oatley is a company that's disrupting kind of the dairy industry, plant-based food company, incredible growth, like incredible revenue growth, money loser right now, not going to get profitable till maybe the back half of 23 or 24, okay? So profitability, in my opinion, is still a while off, right? Not great margins right now, right? Very, very strong brand and very, very strong revenue growth, and in a massive growing, TAM, essentially. Like the TAM for them is just getting bigger and bigger and bigger, okay? They've got facilities in Europe. They got facilities in China. They also have facilities in the United States, and their brand is incredible. So, this is a stock that's been trading in the twos recently. This, to me, is not a trash stock, unless you want to call it a trash stock because their margins aren't great right now and they're losing money, right? And if you just want to chalk every stock up as a trash stock because they lose money in the short term, that's just your opinion, right? But my opinion is when you got a great brand when you have the sort of revenue growth this company has, when you have more and more consumers consuming your product week after week after week after week that are going to buy these products for years to go in the future, if not decades to go in the future, and you just continue to expand and expand, I don't call that a trash business model. And so for me, I've just been acquiring these shares, and every share I've ever bought of Oatley probably I'm down on. I bought some today, and I think I got them in like maybe the twos or something. So maybe I'm up on those shares. But let's be honest, like every single share I pretty much ever bought of Oatley's down. But I'm fully confident in the company. I think it's going to do great. Their balance sheet's in a great place. They have a great credit facility, and they're cash loaded. So my perspective on this is the stock's trading way too cheap, and I think Wall Street's missing out on a generational brand. I think that will play out over the next 3-5 years. And I think if we fast forward 3 years in the future, 4 years in the future, in my personal opinion, everybody's going to look at this company and be like, oh, that was a game changer. That was that, 25x, that 50x type stock. That's the sort of potential I think this stock has. So anyways, that's Oatley there. Avant Brands, AVTBF, okay? Avant Brands is a cannabis company, really small. It's my smallest cap company I personally own. It's a $31 million market cap. The management team at this company has done phenomenal, right? Norton and that executive team has done absolutely amazing running this business model. The last quarter, they grew triple digits. In this sort of environment, there aren't many companies growing triple digits. The growth has been extraordinary. Their balance sheet's pristine. We're talking about, usually they have 10 mil plus in cash. The market cap's 30 mil. That's just a ridiculous amount of money. So the income statement's just getting in a better and better place. The balance sheet's in a phenomenal place. They're growing in triple digits. This is one of those companies that I see as just kind of being a runway of growth for a long time to go in the future. And so I absolutely love Avant Brands. And, I don't know how anybody could call this a trash stock. If you just look at the fundamentals of the company, everything's gotten better over time, and the company's in a really, really good place. It definitely, in my opinion, can't call that a trash stock, okay? Meta. So I've been a holder of Meta since probably 2018, but I haven't been a buyer in a long time. But just very, very recently, I started buying Meta again. Meta owns not just Facebook, but they also own Instagram. They also own WhatsApp. Obviously, a cash flow machine. Balance sheet's great. You got Zuckerberg and Sandberg running that company. I don't know. I feel like it's probably the easiest money in the stock market, or certainly one of the easiest monies in the stock market. The call option on Facebook, Meta, whatever you want to call it, is the metaverse. That is the one thing that we don't know how big that's going to be or not big. The great thing I love about this stock, right, is the company is unbelievably undervalued. I mean, unbelievably undervalued. It trades at a 14 PE ratio, which is ridiculously low. But even more so than that, the metaverse is not priced in at all. There's nothing priced in here like, ooh, maybe they'll succeed in the metaverse, so let's pray, none of that with this company. So I look at this one and I'm like, that's not trash. That's a treasure in my opinion, and that's easy money in my opinion over the next 3 to 5 years. No question about that. Does it have the most, upside? No. Amazon, I just started buying this one very, very recently. I mean, literally, probably in the past week or two, this one's dropped so much that I had to start a position. I've never owned Amazon, so I'm like, I'm excited for this. Do I even need to talk about Amazon? Come on, I shouldn't even need to talk about that. Come on, you're gonna call Amazon a trash company? I don't even know what to say. Okay, Honest, right? So Honest has been trading in the twos recently. When it comes to Honest, the stock's been nailed. Let's be quite clear about that. This is a company that sells diapers, wipes, soaps, shampoos, everything like that. They went public in May of 2021, so probably the worst time to go public, to be quite honest. After everybody had already left the market or were leaving the market, it's definitely, they were at the very tail end of the IPO kind of boom when it was already pretty much over. And so they went public at a horrible time. The companies, they just continue to take market share. Their numbers have been stellar. Outside of their sanitizer business was horrible last quarter, so it made their entire quarterly numbers look weak. When really you take out the sanitizer business, which had a one-time, freak kind of gain to it because 2020 everybody was buying sanitizer like crazy, so they had to comp against that. Okay, But if you take that out, their growth was ridiculous for diapers, wipes, soaps, everything outside of sanitizer. And so, the frustrating thing about an Honest is people just don't do their research, right? They want to call this one a trash stock. And it's like, you do some research and you're going to find it's not a trash stock at all. It's actually a great business model that's growing. Go to your Target store, you're going to find, products sell, and they sell very well, and they're taking market share from the biggest of the big dogs, and that's just a fact. And so I'm extremely excited to add as many shares as possible, and over the past basically this entire year, I've just been trying to add as many shares as possible, including today. I bought shares today, and that one will get profitable, in my opinion, in the back half of 23, and just continue to grow, take market share, and build their brand bigger and bigger and bigger. And the best part is they're taking makeup in the beauty industry more and more serious recently, and I can tell you, you want to talk about margins? Get in the beauty business. As somebody that owned Elf Beauty over time and made a lot of dang money on Elf Beauty, I know the cosmetics industry pretty decent, okay? Because I wear a lot of makeup. I'm just kidding, okay? Maybe I'll start. I might need to here soon. Might be getting too many wrinkles with the way the market's been treating me. All right, Corsair Gaming, CRSR. Obviously, this one's I've been buying for a while here. It's gotten hit. It's down 36% year to date, right? First off, Corsair Gaming, it's down a little more in the market, but the Nasdaq's also was down as of today 30% year to date. So, it's done a little worse in the market, but not that worse. But when it comes to Corsair Gaming, it's under a 1 price to sales ratio. They've had everything thrown at them. Supply chains messed up, right? GPUs have been ridiculously expensive, so a lot of people wouldn't even upgrade their gaming PCs recently because GPUs have just been insane. Simultaneously, stimulus went away. Simultaneously, they had ridiculous comps they had to comp against year over year. All those things are going away. GPU pricing's coming down now. I don't want to say supply chains are getting fixed. Supply chains will get fixed, but I wouldn't call them fixed yet, okay? That will get better over time. Freight container prices and things like that will come down over time. I promise you, freight container costs won't be sky high forever. It's not the way this works. That's a commodity business model at the end of the day. And sure, when everything's all messed up, you can get some ridiculous freight rates, but that ain't going to last. I promise you that. That'll end up coming down. That will make the business model even more profitable. And so I look at a company there that I just absolutely love. It's a profitable company, and I see their business just getting better and better and better as kind of this year transpires. Obviously, the risk is always out there of a massive recession or something like that. Sure, but that's the same risk for every single business model. It doesn't matter whether you're Apple or you're Meta or you're Google or you're Corsair or anybody. That's just the way it is. So I see a company there that, in my opinion, is in a really good position, and I expect to, obviously, when it's all said and done, I think it's going to be a very successful investment for me. Not my most upside stock, but it'll be good. PayPal. So PayPal, this is a stock I got in after this last kind of big drop here, and it fell down. And excuse me, I started getting into this stock, right? And every share I bought at PayPal, I'm down on every single last one of them. And I've been buying the stock as it went down and down into 100, into 90, into 80, and in the 70s. And, is PayPal a trash stock? No. Is it overvalued? No. Just flat out. Like, the PE ratio is way too cheap on this company. The price to sales ratio is way too cheap for a company in this industry. They own the two of the most popular finance related apps in the whole world, in PayPal and Venmo. Like, it's almost a no-brainer money. I don't know if I'd call it as easy money as Meta, but it's definitely toward that side. So, yeah, I wouldn't call him trash. That's just another treasure stock, okay? The Planet. It's a $1.51 stock year to date. The Planet has been nailed like a lot of stocks year to date. This stock's down 51%. When it comes to Planet, so good and bad with the Planet. First off, the company's always been well run. I've been following this company or owning it for many years now, and they've always been well run. Bob, running that company's always done a good job, in my opinion. Now, stimulus definitely helped them. There's no doubt about that. As somebody that lives in Vegas and would do drive-bys at the Vegas store, when the stimulus money was out there, there's no doubt, like, the Planet was insanely busy. I've never seen it like that busy again. The Planet's like busy, but it's not that level of busy. That was insane busy. We'll see how it is this summer. From what I've seen, the Planet's usually the busiest in summertime. As you know, I've been tracking this company and owning it for the last several years now, and so. Yeah, I'm very, very confident in the company. They're scaling the company. They're building a store in Chicago. They got several stores they're building out in Florida. This is going to be the second summer that the Orange County store is going to be open, which I think is big. I'm really excited to see how that store scales over time. And the Planet really started to scale their Vegas store really in the second year and third year that the store was open. So I'm hoping the same trend plays out in OC. But yeah, I mean, I think a lot of it has been de-risked now because the stock price has gone down so much. So that's that one. Netflix, I just started getting in this stock, like literally in the past week or two. You know, when it was around 180, 170 recently, like I'm like, okay, I'll step in. You know, Netflix has never been a company I've owned, but I can tell you, you sell me a stock at the right price, and I'm like, I gotta get some shares. You know, this company's been trading at like a 15p ratio. You know, the death of Netflix has been greatly exaggerated, in my opinion. And I think this is going to be a very hard year for Netflix in terms of comps, in terms of just kind of their business and all those sorts of things. And so I'm not going too crazy fast into this one. I'm planning on kind of scaling the position over the course of this year. And then I think 23 things will improve more and more for Netflix. It's not, will this ever be like a top 10 stock for me? I don't know. We'll see. Top 15 stock probably, but I don't know about a top 10. We'll see how it kind of transpires over time. Next one up here, this is the one everybody's been waiting for. The Chef, okay? The Chef, the granddaddy of them all. You know, I don't know what it is about the Chef. Let's talk about the elephant in the room with the Chef, okay? This company gets people so passionate. It really does. It really does. Who would have thought it? The dang plant-based food company gets people so passionate. It's incredible. Like, I haven't seen this much drama with the stock and the bulls and bears at such a war. You know, probably since Tesla, honestly. It's incredible. If I ever go to message boards or anything like that, it's a war zone. It's a war zone. Even in the private group, even in my own private group, the bulls and bears, and it's a weird dynamic, because let's be very clear. The high majority of stocks are not like that. They do not get people to get emotional about them. But I can tell you with the Chef, there's a stock that gets people emotional one way or another, super bullish or super bearish. And that is a rare combination. I can tell you that much. And like I said, it's not even like it's a company that you would necessarily normally see people be that passionate about. But for people to go out of their way to talk down that stock, you've got to really get people emotional about the stock. I can tell you that, because there's a million stocks that I don't believe in and I don't invest in, things like that. You don't ever see me like going on a message. Like, I don't have time for that. And plus, like, I'm not interested in doing that. Like, I'm not going to get passionately involved in rooting against a company because I think it's a bad company or because I think they're going to do bad. But the Chef is different. The Chef gets people going. It really does. And that's just something. There's other, most of these companies I just went through, they don't get people going. Netflix doesn't get people going, really. Amazon doesn't get people going. Honest doesn't get people going. The Planet doesn't get people going. Oatley doesn't get people going. This stock here gets people going. I'm telling you, people get wild when it comes to the Chef, okay? So, when it comes to the Chef, right, this has been a story around what have the Bears had to go off of, right? They had to go off of the time that the Chef missed they had to postpone their earnings last minute, which was probably 3 or 4 quarters ago now. They had that to go off of, and then Chef reported several quarters in a row where their revenue growth came in disappointing, either where it was coming in kind of in line-ish or missed. And so simultaneously with the stock price going down. And so when you had all those factors, plus they were, losing money, right? Folks really ganged up on this stock, to be quite clear. And what we saw in this latest quarter is a huge break-in trend, a massive acceleration in growth that investors just weren't, even myself, I was not expecting that. Analysts expected the company to grow revenue 22%. They came in at 37%. Now, with the chef, one of the issues is people like to talk about this stock, but they don't like to research the stock. They don't like to listen to the conference calls. They don't like to actually go in depth in the numbers and why certain things are certain ways. So, for instance, in the balance sheet, people say, oh, the cash has fallen from this level it was a year ago, and now it's at this level, right? But what they don't even take into account is the company now has $21 million more in accounts receivable. What people don't take into account is the company acquired 3 different companies in a matter of a 12-month span. And they're all smaller private label businesses, but they had to acquire those essentially so they could build out the facilities to scale this business to $600 million, $800 million, and $1 billion long term. And so they have the entire infrastructure now to scale to those sorts of numbers. So the chef's going to go from a company that's just like, it's got the brand that's growing, it's got store expansion, it's got SKU expansion, and then it's going to switch to a margin story, a profitability story. The management teams went on record and said they're expecting profitability in the back at 23. I expect that as well. And the levers the company's going to start pulling from margin left and right is going to be extraordinary. And so we're going to watch a company grow up right in front of our eyes where it's going to become the shorts will have nothing to say on the chef eventually. I'd say within 2 years, you have nothing where you're just going to be like, the only thing that maybe they'll be able to say is like at that time, especially if the stock price has gone insane, is I'll be like, oh, it's overvalued or something like that. Eventually, with a company like this, the way I see it playing out and with the way I see their trajectories going when it comes to margins, profitability, as this year transpires and goes into 23, their revenue growth, all those sorts of things. The way I see it going is it will become undeniable, like the success of the company. And, eventually you just have nothing left to say. And, companies that execute very well, at some point in time, there's just nothing else you can say about it. There's just nothing other than valuation, right? If you got nothing else and you're mad about a stock going up, then it's like, oh, it's overvalued. That's kind of that whole story. So, but yeah, time has to just obviously play out in all those situations. My confidence level is as high as it's ever been in regards to those. And we'll see. Everybody's going to be watching. I do know. And thank you for everybody that joins me as always for these videos. Much love as always. And have a great day. Check out the description. Bunch of goodies down there. Peace. Hey, send me a DM on Instagram if you want to say hi or something. Send me a DM. Peace.